New York City, the island of dreams, where everyone wants to be. It is home to the tallest skyscrapers that are being assembled to surpass ones made before it. Extel, the owners of Central Park Towers, is trying to achieve that goal with having this building constructed to be 91 stories and 1,500 feet tall. They are trying their hardest to make this the most iconic residential building in the United States. Other buildings on 57th Street may be thousands of feet tall, but still can't compare to this building.
I was involved in the project after the foundation started. I wasn't involved full-time, but I was involved with some of the buys, and some of the specs, creation of specs and logistics. When the foundation was about 80% complete, I came on board full-time. So I've been on this job for a little over 2 years.
I am the owner of Pinnacle Industries. We do reinforced concrete structures, mostly in New York City. We are supplying the concrete and the rebar and also the labor to put up the building, and the crane and the pumps.
You have the top of the house, which is what they call the tower section of the building, which is the building that'll go up 1,500 feet. On a typical day, the crane is feeding that floor with steel picks. Certain days we'll do concrete. It's 12,000 square feet right now, so it takes us about 6 days to get the floor ready. So most of the time it's feeding steel because on this particular job, because it's going up so high, there's a ton of steel going on that floor up there. So most of the day the crane is occupied sending steel up. We have a placing boom up there for concrete, so we're pumping concrete probably every other day, every 2 days on there.
This building, for a lot of reasons, both known and unknown, I'm sure, they wanted to maximize the view at Central Park. So what they did is they built a giant cantilever on this building so that the view is offset in the tower and not blocked by an ongoing construction site across the street. So the cantilever makes this job super unique.
The cantilever is a section of the building, which is basically where the tower section is going to be over. It's 87 by 37 foot cantilever, which is hanging over an existing building. So the owner had to buy the air rights to be able to put his building up. And the reason he chose this location and the cantilever is because it looks straight down Central Park. It's a system that's going to hold the building in place, and that's where the tower section is going to go up over this basically void space.
With Extel getting the air rights to the already existing school alongside it, this cantilever will now be hanging over thin air and will continue to be built on from the 12th floor up to the very top of the building.
For the last 2 years, we've been working towards the bell truss walls, the super columns that I showed you down in the basement. So up until this point, we've been on track with our time, and now that we're in the tower section of it, it should start to go a little quicker. So you have about 1.5 years left of concrete work until you're up on top. You'll get a floor a week right now. It starts to get smaller, so then you'll get 2 floors every 3 days.
As the building proceeds to get worked on, the pouring of each floor will go much quicker because the hard parts of the building are already done. The view of Central Park will be available to most buildings, which will be triple the amount of former apartments in already existing buildings, and even ones that are still being built today.
Right now, 57th Street is being called Billionaire Row because of all the tall buildings they are building from the east side to the west side, everyone trying to go taller than 1,000 feet. Because the higher you go, the more the people pay for the apartments, and you have a beautiful view of Central Park.
The structure for this building will be done in 2018, where Pinnacle Industries will have their topping off party, but residential living won't be available until 2020. From 57th Street, New York, Gina Tomasetti.